Did you ever stop and think about how important curiosity has been to the development, physical, mental, and spiritual, of the human being, the human creature? Or did you ever think about this? Who was the first guy who said, you know what would be a really good idea if we took this chunk of woolly mammoth and threw it into the fire for a while? And then what, Charlie? And then pull it out and eat it. Who said that first? Who was the first one? And why did he do it to begin with? He didn't know what it was going to taste like. Not until he tried it. He did it because he was curious. He wanted to find out, what's that going to taste like? Well, why did anybody do that? And by the way, I'm just assuming that it was a man who did it. I'm assuming it because after it went into the fire pit, after it fell into the fire, he picked it up and ate it. A woman wouldn't do that. A woman would have said, oh, it fell into the fire pit. It's all dirty. I can't eat that. But the caveman, he said, hey, it's a 3-minute rule. If I can't get it out before it burns my hand off, I can eat it. His wife would have said, throw that thing away. I got a nice raw roast in the icebox, because they didn't have refrigerators. No refrigerators in that day. But the guy said, no, I think I'll eat it. Because he wanted to know what it tasted like. He was curious. Curiosity is what drove the ancient mariners out on logs and little boats and tiny ships across the oceans that surrounded the North American hemisphere. What was that like out there? They wanted to find out. Let's just go there. Let's just get in a boat, go there. Columbus had never been to the place he ended up in. He didn't even really try to get there, actually. He wanted to reach land in India. He was curious to see if he could get there from here. And it turned out he couldn't. There was no way to get there from here because there was this huge continent and a whole ocean in the way. But his curiosity changed things, didn't it? His curiosity opened up imaginations and excited the curiosities of others, explorers, cartologists, missionaries, land speculators, adventurers, scientists, soldiers. Everybody just started moving across Europe, across the ocean. The cosmopolitan culture of the Americas was begun. The world was changed. Imagination, spurred by curiosity. Tesla, Edison, Einstein, Marconi, they all had a driving curiosity to experience something, or see something, or touch, or measure something, to create something that had never been there before. That's the thing, isn't it? To create something that had never been there before. That's the God thing, making its first appearance in this issue. Because what is curiosity, after all, except a yearning to discern, to disclose, to create something that had never been there before, to learn the unknown, to discover the undiscovered, to create something from out of a void. And is that not ultimately something that we attribute to God? We don't attribute it to jackrabbits. We don't attribute curiosity to the amoeba, even though those things are actually things that we can see create or procreate, don't they? But it's not something that they do because they're curious. It's something that creatures and beings do instinctively, out of necessity. But human beings are different than that. They move on a higher level. There's no other way to put it, on a higher level. And curiosity comes from another order of activity altogether. It's voluntary, not involuntary. It's something that we do because we're driven, not by a mental force, or even a physical force, by something deeper, a spiritual force. That's the thing that's within us that tells us, be curious, question, try and find out.